Buenos días, buenas tardes o buenas noches. Saludos desde Cuba. Bienvenido a la clase número 19 en tu canal Learn Spanish Easy and Fast. Hoy aprenderemos las estaciones del año en español. Además, estudiaremos uno de los verbos más importantes en español, el verbo hacer. Por si todo esto fuera poco, aprenderemos a usar los artículos definidos en el idioma de Cervantes. No te pierdas esta clase, está muy buena. Let's start. Comencemos. Okay guys, today we are going to start learning the seasons of the year in Spanish. En esta clase vamos a empezar hablando sobre las estaciones del año en español. En español, al igual que en cualquier idioma, tenemos 4 estaciones en el año y ellas son invierno, primavera, verano, otoño. Invierno, primavera, verano, otoño. What can we do in these seasons of the year? In order to answer that question, we have to learn one of the most important verbs in Spanish, and it is the verb hacer. Hacer, it is translated into English as to do or to make. In English, we have 2 verbs. In Spanish, we only have one, hacer. And how do we conjugate the verb hacer? Here is the answer. Remember that I put the subject pronouns or the personal pronouns in brackets because in Spanish it's not necessary to say the personal pronouns unless you want to be very specific, unless you want to make a lot of emphasis in what you are saying. Okay, and here we have the first conjugation, yo hago, which is translated as I do or I make, tú haces, you do or you make, usted hace, you do or you make, but remember that in this case, I am talking to a person and I want to be very formal with this person, okay? Ella hace, she does or she makes. Él hace, he does or he makes, or it does or it makes. Nosotros hacemos, we do or we make, or nosotras hacemos, we do or we make. Remember that nosotros is when the group, which I am, is only composed by men, or it is composed by men and by women. And if I say nosotras hacemos, nosotras is only composed by men, okay? I say ustedes hacen, you do or you make, or you all do or you all make is the plural. Remember that in the plural, we don't have a formal way. It is the same. So the plural of tú is ustedes and the plural of usted is ustedes, is the same. Here I have the plural of ella is ellas, so ellas hacen, they do or they make, but that group is only composed by women. And if I say él hace, the plural of él hace, it would be ellos hacen, okay? They do or they make. So that group is only composed by men, or it is a mixed group composed by women and by men. And here I have some examples on how I can use the verb hacer. For example, I can say, yo hago la cena todos los días, which would be in English like, I make dinner every day. But in Spanish, the verb hacer. Yo hago la cena todos los días. Another example, yo hago la tarea todos los días. In this case, in English, I would use the verb to do. I do homework every day. However, remember in Spanish, it is the same verb. Yo hago la tarea todos los días. Or another example, yo siempre hago los quehaceres del hogar. I always do the housework. Yo siempre hago los quehaceres del hogar. Okay, in Spanish, remember, is only one verb for to do and to make. If you want to say a sentence using to do or to make, you use in Spanish the verb hacer and you conjugate it like this. Okay, let's move on. Here we have some expressions with the verb hacer. Aquí les muestro algunas expresiones con el verbo hacer, algunas expresiones comunes en español con el verbo hacer. For example, hace calor. Hace calor. It's hot. Hace calor. Hace frío. It's cold. Hace frío. Se está haciendo tarde. It's getting late. Se está haciendo tarde. And finally we have bien hecho. Well done. Bien hecho. Okay, here hecho is the past participle of the verb hacer. Okay, bien hecho. Well done. Okay, guys, now we are going to learn a very important thing in Spanish. Los artículos definidos, the definite articles. In lessons 4 and 6, we learned to use the indefinite articles, which are un, una, unos, and unas. Please, if you haven't seen those lessons, check them out. Today we are going to learn the definite articles in Spanish. In English, there is only one definite article, the. In Spanish, we have to choose between 4 definite articles, el, la, los, and las. Which one you choose depends on the noun which follows. Remember, in Spanish, all nouns are either masculine or feminine. This is called their gender, and they can also be either singular or plural. El, the definite article el, is used before masculine singular nouns. For example, I say el concierto. Concierto ends in an O, so it's masculine. So I say el concierto, the concert. I have another example, el periódico, the newspaper. Periódico ends in an O, also ends in an O, so it's masculine. So I say el periódico. And I have el hombre. Hombre ends in an E, so it could be masculine or feminine. In this case, it's masculine, so you have to learn it by heart. Another trick is that hombre represents a man, so in this case, it's masculine. So el hombre, the man. Okay? So here I have la. La is another definite article in Spanish. La is used before feminine singular nouns. For example, la revista. Revista ends in the letter A, so it's feminine. So I say la revista, the magazine. Okay, I have another example. La amiga, the friend. La amiga. Amiga also ends in the letter A, so it's feminine. So I say la amiga, the friend, but a girl, a woman, all right? And I say la mujer, the woman, la mujer. Mujer ends in a consonant, so it could be feminine or masculine. However, in this case, it's masculine. You have to learn it by heart. But a trick, mujer represents a woman, so it's feminine. So la mujer, the woman. Los is used before masculine plural nouns. So I say, for example, los conciertos. Concierto, remember that ends in an O, so it's masculine. But if I want to make it plural, the only thing I have to do in Spanish is add an S at the end of the noun, of the word, and I say conciertos. And if I have to use the definite article, I say los conciertos, because concierto, okay, is masculine. And in this case, it's plural because I say conciertos, so the concerts, los conciertos. I also have los periódicos, the newspapers, los periódicos. Here it happens the same. And finally, I have los hombres, the men, los hombres. Hombre, remember that ends in an E, so it could be masculine or feminine. In this case, it's masculine. So when I make it plural, the only thing I have to do is add an S at the end of the word. So los hombres. In this case, hombre is masculine, and it is also plural because it has the end at the end of the word. So los hombres, the man. Okay. And finally, I have las. Las is used before feminine plural nouns. So I say las revistas. Revista, remember, ends in an A, so it's feminine. But if I want to make it plural, the only thing I have to do is add an s at the end of the word. So I say revistas. And if I want to use a definite article, which in Spanish is very common, even more common than in English, I say las revistas, the magazines. I also have las amigas, the friends, las amigas, it happens exactly the same, and las mujeres, the women, las mujeres. Remember that here, with the word mujer, I add es at the end of the word. We already learned this in previous lessons. Because mujer ends in a consonant, so I add es at the end of the word to make it plural. But in this case, it's feminine, so that's why I use in the plural, I use las mujeres, the women, las mujeres. It's also important to mention that in Spanish we use way more the definite articles than in Spanish. For example, in English I say, dogs and cats are excellent pets. But in Spanish I use the definite articles. Los perros y los gatos son excelentes mascotas. That's why it is good to learn the article together with the noun when learning vocabulary. So that way you learn it like by heart and it's not so confusing. You don't have to think about the rules. Anyway, it's also important to learn the rules in the case that you need to use that information. It's always important to know grammar rules. But my advice, learn the article together with the noun when learning vocabulary. Now, let's practice. Practiquemos. Guys, here we have some nouns, and what I want you to do is add the definite article before the noun. Okay, so I have the first noun, gato, which means cat in Spanish, and if I want to add the definite article, which is the definite article that I have to use? What do you say? Very good. So I say el gato. Gato is a noun that ends in an O, so it's masculine. So I use the definite article el gato. In this case, gato is singular, but if I want to make it plural, the only thing I have to do is add an S at the end of the word. So I say gatos, and I would choose in the plural way, I would choose the definite article los. It would be los gatos. Okay, the same happens with perro. Which definite article did you use? I'm sorry, what did you say? Very good. Muy bien. Excelente. El perro. And if you want to make it plural, los perros. Okay, it happens exactly the same with the word gato. Here we have camisa, shirt. Camisa. What is the answer? ¿Cuál es la respuesta? Disculpen, no lo escuché bien. ¿Cuál es la respuesta? Muy bien. La camisa. The shirt. La camisa. Camisa ends in an A, so it's feminine. La camisa. And if you want to make it plural, las camisas. Muy bien, excelente. Las camisas. I'm sorry, I wrote here again the word perro. I didn't realize about that. No me di cuenta. Disculpen. And now let's jump to the word leyenda. Leyenda. What is the answer? Muy bien. La leyenda. Leyenda ends in an A, so la leyenda. And if you want to make it plural, las leyendas. Muy bien. Las leyendas. Now we have the word espectáculo, which means show in English. Espectáculo. Espectáculo ends in an O, so muy bien, excelente. El espectáculo. And if you want to make it plural, los espectáculos. Very good. And finally, I have the word actor. It is written exactly in the same way as in English, actor. Actor here is a little complicated because ends in a consonant, so it can be, it might be feminine or masculine. So in this case, you have to learn by heart if it's masculine or feminine, and in this case, is masculine. A trick, actor, refers to a man, so is masculine. So I say el actor. Or if I want to make it plural, los actores. Remember that actor ends in a consonant, so if I want to make the noun plural, I have to add es at the end of the word. So los actores. It's masculine, that's why I use los actores in the plural way. Here we have more examples. Familia, family. Familia ends in an A, so very good. La familia. And if I want to make it plural, las familias. Muy bien, las familias. You are very good at this. Son muy buenos en esto, ¿eh? Muy bien, las familias. Here I have mochila, backpack, mochila. It happens exactly the same. So what is this? What is the answer? Muy bien, la mochila. Or if I want to make it plural, las mochilas. Here I have pared. Pared ends in a consonant, so it's a little complicated because you have to know if it is masculine or feminine. So in this case, it's feminine, so it's la pared. And if you want to make it plural, what is the answer? Very good. Las paredes. Okay, because I have to add es at the end of the word, so it's feminine, so I say las paredes. Here I have the word peine, comb, peine. So in this case is masculine. It's masculine, okay? In this case also you have to learn it by heart. Anyway, if you have to take a chance, remember, like I told you in previous lessons, take a chance on the masculine. If you don't know if it's masculine or feminine, take a chance on masculine. So in this case is el peine, okay? Because it's masculine. El peine. And what is the plural of el? Very good. Los. So if you want to make it plural, you say los peines. The combs, los peines. And in this case, I have agua. And here we have an exception, but it's very easy to know why it is an exception. Agua ends in an A, so clearly it's feminine. However, it would be funny if I say la agua, right? La agua. So it doesn't sound good. That's why there is an exception in the language of Cervantes, and I say el agua. Despite it's feminine, I choose the definite article, the masculine definite article, and I say el agua. However, if I want to make it plural, it becomes feminine again. It takes her real nature. So I say las aguas when it is plural. Okay? And it happens the same with the word hacha, axe, hacha. Hacha starts with a consonant, the H. However, remember that in Spanish, H is a letter which is mute, completely mute. So when I pronounce the word, it starts with the word with the letter A. So it would be funny again. It would be funny if I said el hacha. I mean la hacha. It would be funny to say that. So despite the noun is feminine, I say el hacha as if it was masculine. So I say el hacha. However, it happens the same. If I want to say the axis, if I want to make the noun plural, remember that the only thing I have to do is add an S at the end of the word. And if I want to use the definite article, which in Spanish is very common, I say las hachas. It's feminine in the plural way, because it's her real nature and it doesn't sound funny anymore. So I say las hachas. You got it? Any questions you have, please let me know in the comments. Ahora es momento de poner en práctica todo lo que hemos aprendido en clase. Déjame en los comentarios algunas oraciones en las cuales uses el contenido de esta clase. Además, si tienes cualquier duda o pregunta, déjala también en los comentarios. Es todo, amigos. Recuerda darme un me gusta, suscríbete y no te olvides de darle a la campanita. Nos vemos en la clase número 20. Adiós.